Life can be inconvenient, especially at the moment, where we're dealing with such uncertainty at many different levels. Many of the televangelists are busy claiming prophecies about this and that concerning a post sort of COVID future, and almost in a desperate attempt to make sense of things and to inspire some form of hope that things will return to normal. When these prophecies are shown not to be true, people can become even more despondent. There's no absolute guarantee either that everything will go back to the way it once was even. As someone who finds comfort in routine and familiar things, when things suddenly change, this freaks me out. The uncertainty of the future can be particularly unnerving. But perhaps we don't have to always make sense of everything. There's a certain freedom and liberty in abandoning the details of the future and our circumstances, and just pouring our trust into God, in not knowing all the details, but in coming to terms with the fact that we don't have absolute and ultimate control over our lives and our circumstances. Personally, I've had to learn to find comfort in the one who is our true source of comfort in turbulent times, our God, the rock who is immovable and unshakable. When Jesus ascended to heaven, the disciples would probably have been left with conflicting feelings. On the one hand, Jesus had defeated death and the grave and been resurrected and was returning home to be with the Father. But on the other hand, they could have felt a certain sadness in light of the physical departure of their leader, their teacher, brother, and close friend. I mean, they would have developed a strong, intimate connection and relationship with Jesus during their journeys and time together as a band of brothers. Yet the scriptures tell us that they returned to the city filled with joy, worshiping God. You see, Jesus promised that even though he was to depart from them, he would send the Holy Spirit to be their comforter and their guide. In a sense, the disciples probably mourned, in a manner of speaking, this physical departure of their beloved teacher, brother, and friend. However, Jesus' disciples were to find and live in the fullness of the power that Jesus was providing through the Holy Spirit. In the Greek, Theos, parakleseos, means God the Comforter, God our comfort. And the Apostle Paul writes in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3, that God is our merciful Father and the source of all comfort. And the word comfort in the Greek, parakletos, literally means one who's called to one's side or to one's aid. When God comforts us, it's not with a human comfort or the comfort we get from material possessions, our position or status in the community, our bank accounts, or our investments. It's an all-embracing, full of love and hope sort of comfort that exceeds anything we can ever experience through our own efforts or that the world can provide. There's a safety and security that defies belief and explanation in earthly terms. It reads that he comforts us in all our afflictions in the New International Version, so that the comfort we need is promised in all of our afflictions. It's not dependent on certain criteria being met. And this means that we can all experience this comfort that God promises. It doesn't matter the particular circumstance or afflictions we face. And the thing is, we may think we have it bad, but there's almost always someone else in a worse off situation than us that may be unfamiliar with the love and comfort that God provides. 2 Corinthians 1 verse 4 goes on to say that he comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort that God has given us. So God comforts us so that we can learn from the comfort received and be able to show that same sort of comfort to others who may need it. It's kind of like a chain reaction that takes place. We aren't meant to be the only and final recipients of God's comforts, but we're meant to pass it on.
Down at the New Amsterdam, staring at this yellow-haired girl, Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with this black-haired flamenco dancer, and she dances while his father